What's up guys, Alex from FIFA Scouting Tips here, and welcome to my guide to the best cheap high potential goalkeepers in FIFA 16. For the full article make sure you go to FIFAscoutingtips.com. I've got every goalkeeper there with a minimum potential of 80 and a maximum overall of 75 just to help keep all the players cheap. So now let's have a look at my recommendations. We start off with Bartholomew Dragowski. He starts at 71 overall and has 86 potential. He's 17 years old and plays for Jagiellonia in Poland. His value is £2 million, but if you send an inquiry they will ask for £3.8 million, so you can get him for around about £3.5 million. His wages are just £1,000 though, and he has a 4-year contract. He's right footed with a 2-star weak foot and 1-star skill moves. What I like about this guy is he has a very good overall for his age. You often find that goalkeepers grow later than outfield players, but that's not going to be a worry with this guy because his overall is already very good for his age, so you don't need to worry about him not growing in the first couple of years. As well as that, his price is very reasonable for such a promising player, and his wages are very affordable, so you can easily loan him in if you can't afford to buy him outright. Up next we have Sergio Rico. He starts at 75 overall and has 84 potential. He's 21 years old and plays for Sevilla FC. His value is £4 million, but if you send an inquiry they will ask for £6.5 million, so you can probably get him for around about £6.1 million. His wages are £30,000 and he's on a 2-year contract. He's right footed with a 3-star weak foot and 1-star skill moves. So what I like about this guy is, as you can see from his stats, he is very well balanced. He's good at everything and so will develop into a phenomenal all-round goalkeeper. And speaking of growth, he's still very young, but he's only 9 points off of his potential, so I reckon he could well exceed it and grow into the high 80s with enough good performances. My final recommendation is Ruben Blanco. He starts at 69 overall and has 80 potential. He's 19 years old and plays for Celta Vigo. His value is £1 million, and if you send an inquiry they will ask for £1.7 million, so you can probably get him for around about £1.5 million. His wages are £5,000 and he's on a 5-year contract. He's right footed with a 3-star weak foot and 1-star skill moves. Now obviously his standout stat is his handling, and it's vital for all clubs to have a safe pair of hands in goal, but especially so at lower league level where your defence probably won't be as good. You don't want the goalkeeper spilling the ball in the box, and this is not going to happen with Blanco. He's going to grow into a very competent goalkeeper, and like I said, a very safe pair of hands. So I'm now going to show you how my recommendations did after 3 years of growth, so you can see the kind of players that they develop into. I didn't do any player training in this, it's just the base growth, so remember that if you train these players they can do even better. Okay, up first we have Dragowski, and he is 73 overall at 20 years old. He hasn't grown a huge amount, but as I said earlier, it doesn't really matter because he already started out at such a good overall. If you look at his stats, he's growing quite nicely in terms of he's very well rounded. His reflexes really his standout stat, but everything else is fairly close behind, and with 86 potential he's going to grow into an absolute beast. He is going to be such a good goalkeeper, one of the world's best goalkeepers, absolutely no doubt, so he is definitely worth purchasing if you can afford him. Okay, here we have Sergio Rico after 3 years of growth. He's now rated 78 at 24 years old, well on his way to his 84 potential, and like I said before, I think he could grow past that. Still got plenty of years worth of growth left to go. In terms of his stats, still very well rounded. His reflexes now up into the 80s, and all his other stats not far behind either. A very well rounded goalkeeper, very accomplished player, and a great one to get on your team. And finally we have Ruben Blanco after 3 years of growth. He's now on 72 overall at 22 years old, and just look at his handling, it's up to 80 and his diving is on 74, so not only will he be able to reach the ball when he dives through it, but he'll be able to hold on to it as well, and preventing those spills in the box that can be so deadly. He's still young for a goalkeeper and has plenty of time to grow a bit more, so he's a very promising player, and don't forget he was very cheap as well, just over £1 million he'll cost you, so he's a very good player to get if you're using a lower league team and need a safe pair of hands. That's it for my guide to the best cheap high potential goalkeepers in FIFA 16. Make sure you check out my article on FIFAscoutingtips.com. That will have every goalkeeper in the game with a minimum potential of 80 and a maximum overall of 75 to keep things cheap for you. Didn't do any player training with these players, so I'm sure if you took them and did loads of player training with them, you can grow them even further. This is just an indication of the type of growth you can expect from these players if you don't train them, and they still grew pretty well. So make sure also, if you have a fantastic scouted player, that you enter the Scouting Gold contest this month. It is on the best potentials in FIFA 16. You can take a picture of your best scouted player when they are in the academy so we can see their potentials. You can then send that to @FIFA Scouting on Twitter using the hashtag ScoutingGod, or you can submit it to FIFAScoutingTips.com, or you can send a link to Facebook.com/FIFAScoutingTips, or you can leave a link to the image in the comments below. However you want to do that, that ends at the end of October, so not too much longer left on that one. Keep all your feedback coming as well for all the things I'm doing on my channel. If there's anything else you want me to do, let me know that as well. Make sure you leave a like if you enjoyed this video, and thanks for watching. So quick update on our youth squad. This is in October. We've only played a couple of months and look how many players we've signed. Just going to scroll through them now, all looking fairly decent. There are some which I might get rid of, like this one here.